This is a technical motorized trail. Even modified vehicles can sustain damage.
I had pretty low expectations for this trail. This might be pretty sick.
Put the place up. Yeah, we know what we made of. I'm a chaser. Face up. Not your little major. Link up and out. Equal, I'm a taker.
Howdy, howdy, let's get rowdy. Today we are headed to a trail that is single-handedly the most important trail to myself, the channel, and the Rec Gear family. This was the first true rock crawling trail I had ever run and turned into my go-to rock crawling trail back in the day. Leveling up 3 different times with 3 different rigs, this trail was also where I bought my first GoPro and learned how to YouTube and video edit. I met Jess, the best thing that ever happened to me, for the first time on this trail. But the more seat time and the more advanced rock crawlers I upgraded to opened me up to much bigger and more challenging trails and slowly faded away from this go-to trail. It's been almost 2 years since the last time I've been on this trail, partly because of the fear it won't be as fun as it once was, and it's not near any of the other hot spots we like to wheel. Today is the day we go back with intentions of good memories and set our sights on new lines and new ways to run an old trail.
All right, you guys, we're out here on Smasher Trail. Smasher Jeep Trail, technically, apparently. Smasher Jeep Trail. This is a technical motorized trail. Even modified vehicles can sustain damage. Use this trail responsibly and tread lightly. Your continued use of this trail depends on you. Respect the stay on the trail rule. Woo! Yeah, I'm kind of out of breath from saying all that. But there you have it. Smasher Jeep Trail. Luckily, our buggy pretends it's a Jeep, so here we go. Excuse me, did you guys know that this is a Jeep trail? And you brought a Toyota?
Actually, this was...
I got Jeep parts with me, just in case we meet anybody.
Oh, perfect, perfect. This is where me and Bronson had our first date.
This is Jess and I at the beginning of this very same trail. The first time ever meeting each other in person 5 years ago in my old 1-ton TJ. Here we are 5 years later. Our rig may have changed, but our passion for rock crawling is still the same. Right out of the gate, I found an obstacle I never would have looked at before. This obstacle isn't wild or crazy by any means, but had some good technicality to it. Starting off with a good climb and a step at the bottom, squaring up with the driver's side on the boulder and the passenger side on the loose rock gave it a very different feel than a normal crack. Normal cracks usually have almost too much traction due to the tires wedging in the crack. This one had a lot of traction on one side and none on the other. Once you climbed up to the top of the crack, you had to turn down driver towards the loose off-camber hill, using your front dig to keep your rear tires planted at the top of the rock, so that way you didn't slide or come off the obstacle. I had pretty low expectations for this trail, but if we keep finding bonus stuff like that I haven't done before, this might be pretty sick.
As you can see, Virgil is easily dirtbagged.
Virgil has a drag axle, meaning that he cannot steer the rear and is on 39-inch BFG crawlers instead of 42s, making this way more technical. Without rear steer, he really has to come into the obstacle thinking of where his rear axle lines up at. Once he starts the line, he either has to commit or he's got to back all the way off of it and realign that rear axle. The step on the bottom of this is tougher due to his tire size compared to mine. It takes a lot more skill getting his rig through this than it does my rear steer car. At the top, he isn't able to turn his rear steer to help him straddle the crack as he drops down the loose rocky edge, so he pulls further up the hill so his rears don't fall in the crack that he just crawled up, and slowly digs his front to the bottom to where he can come down the obstacle much more square. hard, but it was fun.
Yeah. Well, it's tricky at the top because, yeah, you get up there and I watch my friend drop. I'm like, that's a long ways.
There is fun to be had on Smasher Jeep Trail.
Here I am 5 years ago. This is the first real bonus line on this trail, with a big rock and a gap that runs into another big rock climb with a bit of an undercut. The obstacle hasn't changed much, and it was way easier and smoother with the rear steer buggy and stickies, but still a fun technical line. Because I had rear steer, I wanted to see if I could go right instead of going left to make the line a little more challenging. In the process, I get crossed up and couldn't help myself but have a little fun.
Teeter-totter.
That move right there is called the Bronco Billy. How about I stop playing rock cowboy and get back to the trail? One of the main reasons why this trail was such a go-to 5 years ago is it's cool, different, with rad features like this overhang. The goal is to be out here having fun. Wheeling hard trails with challenging obstacles is a lot of fun, but going to trails with beautiful landscapes and character are also fun. If you can get one of those, you're having a good day. Anytime that you can get both of those, then you're having a great day.
I just want you guys to know that this trail is awfully rocky. And I've fallen probably 3 times.
We have finally made it to Smasher Crack, being the main obstacle that gives this trail its name. As you come up this crack, your rear passenger can fall off the passenger side wall and take out your quarter panel and even lay you on your side. Back in the day, this happened a lot. I'm pretty excited to see how the rear steer stacks up to the old TJ and see if there's any new, different ways I can try to do this obstacle. First thing that I notice is my driving style is way different. In the TJ, you could see I use momentum to roll my way through this obstacle, where in the rear steer, I just keep a steady, easy crawl. I like the driving style I've adapted to because it's better on parts, cleaner, and in the end, crawling something and making it look easy is always a sign of a better driver than someone who has to hit it with their purse to make the same obstacle. Our main goal today was to find new lines and ways to have fun on an old trail that we thought that we outgrew. So Virgil and C finish up the crack, and I decide to drop off the far side wall. After dropping in, I decided instead of going back up the crack that has 2 steps to get you on top of the shelf, that I would try another new line and go straight up the sheer wall. Virgil sees that I'm doing a little buggy goofing, and he's all about it, dropping in right behind me. The shelf at the top of the sheer wall was super tight, but having 50 degrees of front and rear steer allowed me to turn as I was cresting and barely fitting. From there I saw a line where I could cross the crack as Virgil picked a new line, putting his passenger side tires at the top of the wall and straddling the crack in the opposite of the normal way that you'd normally do this line. So when I first started off-roading, this is like the first rock crawling trail I used to do. I would just go up the notch and that was just victorious. I was able to go up the notch, around, down the drop, up the other face of the waterfall I've never seen before, pivot around and cross the notch. So it's just fun to come back to where you started and like, I don't know, your progression, your rig's progression, and see what you can do. This has been way cooler than I thought it was gonna be. I'm having a blast. This is the last optional line on Smasher. Another step up, but this one has a little bit of an undercut and a pinch. So you have to climb one side before the other, which makes it a little tricky to not have your rig grind the driver's side ledge. Being how I have a rear steer, I wanted to take this line as weird as I could, climbing the passenger side wall, then crab walking all the way into the pinch. Having my rear climb the driver's side wall, getting me all crossed up, and achieving yet another good obstacle in a much more challenging and fun way for the rig that I have now.
How did that feel?
All kinds of funny and fun. That was sick. Here's another playground that we used to wheel in this area that the obstacles were way gnarlier. And the few times I did it, I barely made it, taking the easiest lines possible. In the last 5 years, the monsoons have really done work, making the bottom of this first waterfall way deeper than it used to be. This time, I wanted to take the line on the right, which is a bigger undercut at the bottom. It's taller and it's a bit off camber.
Beautiful.
BFGs! What the fuck? It didn't even slip! Go, Virgil! Go! Go! Go, Virgil! Go! Go!
This is a line that I could never get the front tires of my old TJ even up. It was mostly due to how undercut and technical this line is. Those are BFG 42-inch tires, and the undercut is legit 42 inches of undercut. You have to line up your front tires just right, so that way the tops of your tires grab just enough traction to lift your front end up. Once you get your front end up and over, it's the same thing for your rears. This line right here is wild, but it's like massively undercut. You see that undercut right there? So you're really wedging your tires underneath it, and you got to find a way to pinch it, and front dig, rear dig, and just work it up. It's wild, but it was a fun one. This one's going to be way harder for Virgil due to he has 39-inch BFG stickies and no rear steer. The line to get up this for him is going to be much thinner, and it's going to be a hell of a lot of work, not to mention the huge potential for axle breakage. All right, that was rad. Wasn't expecting this to be very rowdy. We definitely found some new lines and definitely some new ways to go do some old obstacles, and it was a blast. Thanks for coming. Make sure you guys subscribe and support us. Without your guys' support, we don't grow. Without growing, we can't go out and wheel. So make sure to subscribe. Sponsored in part by BF Goodrich Tires, Warren Industry Winches, KC Highlights, and Axle Off-Road Helmets. Best way to support this channel is give that subscribe button a little skiddly-do, diddle that notification bell, give this video the fat finger, and leave a dirty little comment below.